and rival in the Spanish Championship, Erbelts Moore, on row 6. So as they leave the holding area, we'll talk you through the grid in full. Lloyd and Van Toff are on the front row of the grid from Ripley and Balota. Then it is Meyer and Gilbert, Radican and Janssen, McNeely and Rowledge, and Marty Boyer and Erbelts Moore. Then it is Gilles Stadsbader and Khaled Saab, Ken Oscar Algra and Ronan Hakala, Tom Leben and Vincent Andronako. Alicia Barrett is in there on the 10th row alongside Jozef Spinkovic. Haran and Nordini is alongside Wilger Edqvist. Manus Gummanson Dai is there alongside Jort Kuhn. Sam Bolatska alongside Rimo Karapik. Torben Grundal alongside Ansel Juliet. Alex Ivanov and Victor Pardo, with Tazana Paul Inthra-Fivazak, Frederick Jakobsen and Edon Reshepi in the field. So Edon Reshepi has obviously had an absolutely miserable weekend, the Swiss ace, and has got to use this opportunity to charge his way further forward. So I will suspect him to make up a few places right from the off. But we're on the formation lap, of course, and the drivers will form up into their 2 rows. And this is going to be quite an interesting spectacle, with Lloyd and Van Toff, the 2 men who shared the victories yesterday on that front row of the grid. Ripley still very confident up there in 3rd, with Sam Balota alongside him. Max Meyer, he's a tip for me. I think he could break into the podium in the final for this one. He's definitely got the speed and the capability, and his confidence is growing all the time. Alongside him, though, championship leader Lewis Gilbert, 5 places ahead of his nearest championship rival on the grid, Marty Boyer. So this is an opportunity for the Scot to really make hay while the sun shines. So let's see how it's going to go. Lloyd and Van Toff, Ripley and Balota, Meyer and Gilbert, Radican and Janssen, McNeely and Rowledge, Boyer and Moore, Stadsbader and Saab, Algra and Hakala, Leben and Andronako, Barrett and Spinkovic, Nordini, Edqvist, Gummanson Dai, Kuhn, Balatska, Karapik, Grundal, Juliet, Ivanov, Pardo, Inthra-Fivazak, Jakobsen and Reshepi. So here is how these drivers are going to make their way onto those 2 rows. It's going to be a really exciting battle. All sorts of drivers are out of position in the midfield and the tail end as well. So there's set to be plenty of overtaking over the course of these 12 laps around the Wackersdorf circuit. Engine revs rise. This looks like a good start. It is! Let's go racing once again. Van Toff goes straight across onto the Lloyd, and there's very little space to manoeuvre. Van Toff is through into the lead straight away. Lloyd is down to 3rd for the moment because Balota squeezed through into 2nd place, but Lloyd is still very strong there in 3rd position, and up to 4th comes Gilbert. Gilbert's broken through already into P4. Cracking start from the Scot. Linus Janssen is next up in 5th position, so he's made a cracker, and into the barriers goes Victor Pardo. Victor Pardo's gone into the barrier there. And that is such a shame for Victor. He needed to make up progress, but up at turn 4, Victor Pardo has gone into the barriers in the traffic jam. Oh, no, it's not Pardo. My apologies. That is the 83 that's gone there. So I apologise. That is Sam Balatska, the German, who has gone off there on home soil. He got squeezed there, basically, as several drivers went into the braking zone for turn 4. Balatska's got going again. That looks like a move in the midfield there. And that is Edon Reshepi making his way up through the progress of the field of the order. So in the lead, it is Van Toff from Balota, Lloyd. Then it is Gilbert, Ripley, Rowledge, Radican, McNeely, Boyer, Janssen and Max Meyer. What has happened to Linus Janssen? He's dropped down to 10th position on that lap. So I'm not sure what has happened to him, but clearly Janssen is on the back foot. And there goes Erbelts Moore through on the inside of him. And he nearly loses another place. I think that is Liam McNeely trying to come through. No, it's not. It's Khaled Saab trying to come through on Linus Janssen. And Saab has gone through. The next target is Alicia Barrett. Barrett is going to try and make the move on Linus Janssen. And she's going to make the move through as well. Good driving there from Barrett. Meanwhile, up at the front, it is Delano Van Toff, who still leads the pace here. Balota, Lloyd and Gilbert. And these 4 look like they're going to break away. Where is Marty Boyer? Just looking back through the field. He's in 8th place. 5th position is actually Josh Rowledge trying to close in on the top 4. So he's broken clear and he's got some breathing space. 6th place is Josh Ratican now in front of Zach Ripley, Marty Boyer, Liam McNeely, Erbelts Moore and Max Meyer, who's had a really difficult start to his race. And here goes Balota for the lead on Van Toff. He is through. Sam Balota, the Belgian, takes the lead. Great racing there as the 69 moves through into the lead. No problem at all for the Belgian as he controls the pace of this race now in the lead here at Wackersdorf. And as they come into the hairpin once again, he's now got Van Toff breathing down his neck. Still Alex Lloyd in there in 3rd position. Lewis Gilbert in 4th place. Josh Rowledge in 5th, trying to make his way through as they're on the back straight. This is a good chance now for Gilbert. He's reeling in Alex Lloyd on the back straight into the hairpin. He could size him up here for the first corner. 3 laps down, 9 to go. Balota, Van Toff, Lloyd, Gilbert, Rowledge. This is a very exciting run, and Lloyd is going to dive up the inside of Van 't Hoff and makes a sweet move through. Gilbert's going to get there as well. Van 't Hoff is going to try and resist it. There's a little nudge, but that's fine. Gilbert's through. Brilliant racing. And now Josh Rowledge is going to try and make the move on Delano Van 't Hoff as well. Rowledge is getting hungry for it. It's Fusion versus Strawberry as they go on the far side. Right, left. Rowledge is still dialing in Delano Van 't Hoff. Can he make the move in the fourth position? He's signalling with Delano. Work with me. Don't even think about it. Josh Rowledge dives up the inside and now side by side with the Dutchman. But that's fine and dandy for Rowledge. He's through. He's signaled to Josh, work with me. Josh had other ideas. Don't even think about it, bucko. So out in front, it is Sam Balota, Alex Lloyd in second from Lewis Gilbert, Josh Rowledge, and all of a sudden, Delano Van 't Hoff is down to fifth position in front of Josh Rattican. Rattican is really on it here as well. He's taking along Zach Ripley for the ride, and Rattican's making some great progress here in a sixth position. Starting to look like he could be a threat to Delano Van 't Hoff. For the moment, though, the Dutchman wants some revenge on Josh Rowledge, and he's trying to get back into the top four. A nice move from a long way back from Jerzy Spinkovic, a little further back as he takes his move up into, what's that going to be for him? Past Gilles Satsparder into 17th. So some good overtaking moves all the way around the circuit. Here's the opportunity for these leaders to continue to battle. Alex Lloyd is proving he is the fastest man on the circuit. Somebody's peeling off into the pits. Now, Edqvist has managed to get himself a warning flag, but into the pits is Ken-Oskar Algra. The Estonian appears to be out of this race and will now start the final from the back of the grid. Now that is devastating for Ken-Oskar Algra, and that's a big point score to drop. So here they come. Balota, Lloyd and Gilbert have broken clear of the rest, although Rowledge and Van 't Hoff are not a million miles away. Then it's Rattican, Ripley and Marty Boyer. Great racing. Terrific battling and dueling already in the early stages of this one. But Sam Balota is trying to hang on, and that is Tazanapol Intrafivazak. Now, where has Intrafivazak gone off? He's gone off at turn one. So the Thai driver, who was in the top 10 in testing on Friday, looked like this was going to be a great debut, but unfortunately, Tazanapol Intrafivazak has had a bit of a problem there. So hopefully we'll see Tazanapol Intrafivazak in the final, making progress from the back. But I'm afraid he is the latest retirement from this one. And there is a little bit of damage to the barriers on the far side there by the look of it, but not enough to stop racing. So there we go. Sam Balota in the lead of the race. Lloyd in second, Gilbert in third. Rowledge and Van 't Hoff have decided to settle their differences for the moment. Rowledge has set the fastest lap, working together with Van 't Hoff to get these three caught. But it's still the Belgian Balota in the lead at the moment. Alex Lloyd and Lewis Gilbert battling for second and third. This is a pressurous moment for... Oh, and up the inside goes Gilbert. Gilbert goes for second and gets it. And that backs Lloyd into Rowledge. So Gilbert's now got a chance in second place. Rowledge is going to make his move on Lloyd. And he's going to get assistance from Van 't Hoff. Lloyd is down to fifth position. Oh, dear. Alex Lloyd, the favourite coming into this one from pole position after such a glowing day yesterday, now finds himself in P5. But he's got time to make up, and he's going to want to get a bit of revenge for that one. Here comes Rowledge on the inside of Gilbert. Rowledge is resent. No, Rowledge has gone off. Rowledge goes off. He tried to make the move there, and he's come back on the circuit, having missed three corners. So Rowledge is obviously going to have to wait now for these guys to come through. So Rowledge will obviously have missed some of the circuit. Now, I don't know whether, even though he's going to give the places back, is he going to be in? He's going to keep going in second. Now Van 't Hoff is going to dive up the inside of Gilbert. Lloyd's going to get back to the inside, and Rattican's going to work with him. Now Rowledge has got back up to speed in second position, a long way ahead of these guys. Now surely that is not going to be permitted. So we'll have to wait for the steward's opinion on that one. But Van 't Hoff is there in third place. Gilbert is fourth, Rattican is now fifth, Ripley is sixth, and here comes Marty Boyer into seventh place in front of Alex Lloyd, who is down to eighth, and there goes Meyer into ninth position on the inside of Erbelts Moore. What a race this has suddenly become, as diving up the inside again, Lloyd makes the move on Marty Boyer, as Ripley tries to make the move on, I think that must be, no, it's not Max Meyer, that's got to be Rattican, hasn't it? Lloyd's gone through, Boyer's gone through, and unfortunately, Ripley has gone down the order behind Alicia Barrett. Alicia Barrett's come from nowhere. She's now on the back of Erbelts Moore. Really good race this from Barrett. She's really risen to the plate. And she's now knocking on the door of the top 10 as these guys struggle for positions. This is getting very messy as Boyer has got Now, who is that to his inside left? I think that's got to be Max Meyer trying to come through. Max Meyer, Beltmore and Alicia Barrett on the back of this train, trying to find a way past Marty Boyer. Radican still leads the train with Alex Lloyd in there as well. Alex Lloyd's now going to try and make his way through on the inside. It's not going to happen. I would not be surprised if there's quite a few drivers with nose cone fairing difficulties at the end of this one, because there's a little bit of pushing and shoving out there. And there's some great overtaking further behind them. That looked like Zach Ripley making up another place as he got up the inside there of... actually, I think that might have been Liam McNeely actually making the move on Ronan Hackela and Linus Janssen. So he's got himself still into a neat position. But the leader is Belota, second is Rowledge. But what is going to be done about Rowledge skipping 3 corners and only giving back the lead? Because I have a feeling that that is not going to be taken very lightly. 2 laps to go. Belota is your leader, Rowledge in second. Van Toff is third, Gilbert is fourth. Ratican fifth from Lloyd in sixth. How on earth has this race been turned on its head quite so dramatically? So this is going to be a good run for Belota in the lead. He's basically been gift-wrapped to victory by all of that jostling for second place. Rowledge is second at the moment. Whether he'll stay that way is up for debate, as up into 10th position has now come, or actually that might be 9th position now for Alicia Barrett, who is having a great run and is now right there behind the current runner-up in the standings, Marty Boyer. Delano Van Hoff currently holds on to 3rd position in front of Lewis Gilbert. Then it's Ratican, Lloyd, Meyer, Moore, Barrett, and Boyer and Barrett. So Barrett's in 10th position at the moment. But Marty Boyer is working very hard to stop Alicia Barrett's charge. Barrett is trying to come up the inside of Marty Boyer and is through. Boyer's lost 2 places. Barrett has gone through. Into the final lap we go. Liam McNeely's gone through with Alicia Barrett as well. The racing is fantastic in this one. There's battles everywhere you look. It's tough to figure out where to look in this race, as Lloyd has tried to make a move on Josh Ratican and it hasn't worked. And now Meyer's trying to get through on the inside of Alex Lloyd. Lloyd is desperately trying to get back on terms with Ratican, who has stepped up to the plate and is delivering in spades at the moment. Through the chicane, right, left. But the leader is about to come onto the back straight. Sam Belota has had an absolutely cracking race here. Here he comes. Sam Belota out in front. Still this battle emerging between Lloyd, and there goes Erbertsmoor around the outside of Max Meyer. It's not going to happen, but the checkered flag comes out, and it's a victory up in front for Sam Belota. Sam Belota gets the victory in front of Josh Rowledge, Delano Van Toff and Lewis Gilbert. What a run for the Belgian. Sam Belota has got the job done. Josh Rowledge in 2nd position. The stewards can debate that one. 3rd place Delano Van Toff and 4th place Lewis Gilbert. 5th position, that is Josh Ratican, who does hang on in front of Alex Lloyd. A very tough race there. The order absolutely shuffled. That was like throwing a deck of cards up in the air and seeing what order they came up in. Brilliant racing. And for Lewis Gilbert, the championship leader, he's made more progress than his Spanish rival as well. Gilbert across the line in 4th, Boyer across the line in 11th. So that is a big step forward for the Scotsman in terms of points scored in this race, because it'll be 31 points scored by Lewis Gilbert. And by my mathematics, it's going to be about 23 points scored for Marty Boyer. So that's a point swing of a good 10 points there in Lewis Gilbert's favour just from the pre-final. So it's Belota who wins from Rowledge, Van Hoff, Gilbert, Ratican, Lloyd, Meyer, Moore, Barrett in 9th place from McNeely, Boyer, Hackela, Ripley, Saab, Janssen, Nuradini, Kanapik, Stadsbader, Spinkovic. Then we have Pardo, Ivanov, Germansendai, Juliet, Andronako, Grundal, Jakobsen, Reshepi, Kuhn and Balatska, with retirements from Tazanapol and Trafivazak, Wilgard Edqvist, Tom Leben and Ken Oscar Algra. A very dramatic X30 junior race there. All sorts of battles to take into account. But now we have our pre-final grid, and it's going to be a very interesting one. Now I've been given my pre-final grid in front of me, and Siem Liedmar is still shown as present on the grid on the 10th row, but unfortunately is not going to be starting this race from what I've been told. So that position is going to be left empty. So it is only 6 karts that are in the mix. Sean Butcher and Joe Turney will share the front row of the grid. Now this is going to be an interesting one, because Joe Turney on pole position for this one. has not had the best of starts to his weekend, but we'll tell you about that in just a moment, because it's going to be, it's certainly not had the best of starts to his day, I should say. Obviously, pole position is perfect, but in the warm-up, it didn't go swimmingly. We'll tell you about that in a moment as we build up to the Senior X30 pre-final. So the Senior X30 pre-final grid is forming up here in the dummy grid. And it's been a really exciting one for Joe Turney thus far, getting himself into pole position. But the warm-up did not go brilliantly for him from his point of view after he lost the chain, or at least the chain came off the kart on the warm-up, and that basically compromised his race prep. It shouldn't do him too much damage long-term, because he's still very confident around this Wackersdorf circuit. And the warm-up, of course, is literally just to bed the kart in and dial it in. So obviously, on the very first lap that happened, so in X30 Senior, he didn't set a single lap during the warm-up session this morning. For the record, the warm-up session for X30 Seniors, if I just have a